What should you look for in an attorney contingency fee agreement for a personal injury lawsuit? I'm Tom Friedman. I'm a lawyer in Nevada. The first thing you should look for in a typical personal injury contingency fee contract is the amount of money the attorney is going to take. A typical amount might be 1/3 of the recovery. And so what a contingency fee is you enter into a contract. If you're going to bring a lawsuit for personal injuries, you're making an agreement with a lawyer where you're going to give the lawyer a portion of the recovery if there is one. If there's no recovery, the lawyer doesn't get paid. So the lawyer is very interested in only taking cases that will result in a recovery. But before you, the injured party, recover, there are things that are deducted from the settlement or the verdict. Generally, those are legal fees, costs, and any liens. So, as I mentioned before, a typical attorney fee agreement will have the attorney recover about 1/3 of the case value. Now, if the case goes to trial, that number might bump up to 40%, possibly even 50%. So let's put some numbers on this. If you have a contingency fee lawsuit and the attorney is to recover 1/3, let's hypothetically say your recovery in the case is $15,000. So a check comes in for $15,000. The attorney is going to take 1/3 right off the top, $5,000. Now there's $10,000 remaining. Well, what happens next? Well, lawsuits include costs that are things like the filing fees, the fees to get people served. There may be expert fees if the case goes on for a while. And these costs are generally less than the attorney's contingency portion, but every dollar is important, so these costs are important as well. So the attorney contingency fee will say the attorney gets 1/3, that's $5,000 off the top. There might be costs of, say, another $1,000, so now there's $6,000 of the $15,000 are gone. The total's at $9,000. What's next? Well, generally personal injury lawsuits involve personal injuries, and personal injuries require medical treatment. And so the medical bills may or may not be part of the recovery as well. If your insurance company paid your bills while you're being treated, the insurance company might have a lien on the recovery, meaning they want to get reimbursed for the money that they put out. If you were treated through Medicare or Medicaid, almost all of the time, they definitely will have a lien. So that number is going to be smaller than the actual billed amount that the doctor billed, but it's still going to be something, and it's still going to be subtracted from your recovery. Now, another way medical treatment is provided is through attorney liens with doctors. And in this situation, the attorney and the doctor get into an agreement where the doctor says, hey, I'm going to treat your client, my patient, and I'm not going to require fees up front. Instead, I'm going to wait till the case resolves, and once the case is resolved, I'm going to get paid then. So let's go back to this hypothetical $15,000 settlement. The attorney takes 1/3, so now there's $10,000. The costs are $1,000, so now there's $9,000. Well, the attorney had a lien agreement with the doctor, and the doctor's bills were $7,000. So if you subtract the $5,000, the $1,000, and then the $7,000, there's only a couple $1,000s left. And so generally a person who's been injured, who receives a settlement of $15,000 but only gets $2,000 in their pocket, is going to be pretty unhappy about the way the settlement went down. So one of the things some lawyers do is we'll say, hey, look, to make this fair, the lawyer's never going to take more than the client. So instead of the lawyer getting that $5,000 right off the top and the client only getting $2,000, well, we're going to look at it $7,000 between the lawyer and the client. They'll split it. The client will get $3,500. The lawyer will get $3,500. It's not an ideal settlement, but it's certainly better than the lawyer taking the lion's share of the settlement. If you have any questions regarding contingency fees, please feel free to give me a call, drop me an email, and thanks very much for watching.